Good morning, Grizzlies. I'm James.
And I'm Valen. Important news today, Grizzlies. Late last night, Wednesday, November 12th, the House voted to reopen the government, followed by President Trump signing legislation to finally end the longest U.S. government shutdown, which had lasted a total of 43 days. Millions of people nationwide who rely on SNAP food benefits had their assistance cut in half or lost altogether due to the shutdown. But the benefits program is expected to be up and running in the next 24 hours following the reopening of the government. Amidst this previous shutdown and impending crisis, President Trump hosted a Great Gatsby-themed Halloween party just before many Americans lost their food assistance benefits after a SNAP funding collapse. He has received backlash for this, with many pointing out how ironic the situation is. Following more positive news, the city of New York has elected Zohran Mamdani as its next mayor, making him the first Muslim and person of South Asian descent to hold this position, as well as the youngest in over a century. The state of Virginia elected Democrat Abigail Spanberger for governor, making her the first woman to be elected for this position in the state's history. And New Jersey has elected Representative Mickey Sherrill, making this the third cycle in a row with a governor elected from the Democratic Party. Continuing our string of suboptimal news, former Vice President of the United States Dick Cheney has died at the age of 84 from complications with pneumonia and cardiac and vascular disease. He leaves behind a complicated legacy. Finishing off our world stories, on November 4th, a UPS cargo plane crashed at the Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport, leaving a half-mile-long debris field and resulting in 14 casualties. We give our regards to the families of all of the victims lost in this tragedy. That's all for world news. On to local with James.
Zooming in locally, McMinnville voters had just one choice to make on their ballots. Should they vote to pass a $98.5 million bond to build a new rec center, including a new pool, turf soccer fields, and a new gym, as well as improvements to the senior center, library, parks, but pay an increased tax of 95 cents per $1,000 of income. As of Tuesday night, the first ballot count had the bond failing to pass by just 3 votes, but by Wednesday evening, that lead had stretched to 67. The bond measure has now been declared likely to be rejected by the Yamhill County News Register, but the 50.37 to 49.63 vote could call for a recount. We will keep you updated on this story in next week's episode, when the final result should be called. Heading up north to the Portland International Airport, the now longest ever U.S. government shutdown has had an impact on flights as well, with over 24 Portland flights already being canceled, Alaska Airlines accounting for half of them, and 10% of daily flights have been ordered to be canceled. If the shutdown continues, we could see air traffic delays all over the country pursuing through the holiday season. These delays could also result in federal staffing shortages as well, as the Portland International Airport has not been impacted by government shutdowns in the past. That's all for local, sending it off to Jaden with sports.
Good morning, Grizzlies. If you weren't there during the Halloween game, we experienced a loss with a score of 6-48 against Glencoe. And if you are also interested in our high school sports, our winter season will be starting soon, including basketball, wrestling, and swimming. In other sports news, the NFL, there are 13 games scheduled this Sunday, and the most highly anticipated, which was during the 16th, was between the Detroit Lions and the Philadelphia Eagles at the Eagles' home stadium. Lastly, for Dallas Cowboy fans, there was an unfortunate news event that happened on November 6th. Marshawn Kneeland, age 24, was found deceased due to a self-inflicted gunshot wound after evading law enforcement during a pursuit and fleeing on foot, according to local authorities. Sending it off to entertainment with Sergio.
Thank you, Jaden. I'm Sergio, and this is your entertainment news. In recent news for video game fans, on October 24th, Xbox Game Studios announced a remake for the 2001 game Halo Combat Evolved. This marks as the first major Halo video game release for the rebranded 343 Studios, now called Halo Studios, since the release of Halo Infinite in 2021. The game will feature 9 new weapons, 3 new prequel missions, and the ability to sprint. The biggest news to come from the remake is that this will be the first Halo game available on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC altogether. Alongside that, the game will feature 4-player online and cross-platform co-op and 2-player local co-op. In other news for film and kaiju fans, on November 2nd, Toho announced Godzilla Minus Zero. This film will serve as a sequel to the critically acclaimed 2023 film Godzilla Minus One. So far, the only details shared for the film is that Takashi Yamazaki will return as director, writer, and visual effects supervisor. In other news for music fans, singer, songwriter, and former internet personality Joji announced his 5th studio album, In the Wind, on November 4th. This will be his first album released with his independent record label, Palace Creek Records, since the end of his 8-year-long relationship with 88 Rising. This album is scheduled to release February 6, 2026, and he has currently released 3 lead singles for the album, available on all platforms. That's all for entertainment news. Now off to the desk.
Godzilla sounds like a great new movie.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. And it's very sad to hear that our football team lost, but I'm sure they tried their hardest, and I'm sure next time they'll get them.
It is. I hope they'll be back at it next year. That's all for today. I'm James.
And I'm Valen.
Have a great day, Grizzlies.